Hey everybody, Kevin here with Your Best Groove and Groove Tutorials, and I want to show you today 3 secrets to understanding Groove pages, and it has to do with the structure inside the builder, and there are 3 main keys: blocks, containers, and elements. Before we get into that, make sure you like and subscribe the video so you don't miss any of these updates about Groove pages, Groove funnels, about anything in Groove. Let's take a look at these 3 secrets you need to know. Blocks, containers, and elements. So you want to think about sort of building out your page starting with blocks. You can't do anything on a canvas. You can't put any text or any images or anything on your page until you have at least one block. And so a block is the, if you will, the biggest container that holds the other elements. So we have blocks, then we have containers. And what you're seeing right here is the large black area is the block. And inside the block is this gray area, which is the main container in the block. So if you add a block, let me just click the plus and go add a empty block. This block that came in has one container in it to begin with. And that's what we're seeing here. This black is a block with an empty. It's not empty because I have text in it, but it will come in with an empty container. So the second level, so you have blocks, the second level is a container. And then containers hold elements. So containers hold text and images and lists and buttons and checkouts and Groove mail forms. Everything that we want to put on the page goes inside of at least one container. Now, the special thing about containers is that they are really in and of themselves, they are an element. And they are unique in that you can embed containers in containers in containers. And I'm going to show you how that looks as we go down through this. So we have a block, we have a container, and this next one is a block with a gray container. And inside the gray container is a 1-column simple container layout. So as I said, we can put containers inside of containers inside of containers. They can be nested, which is a really important concept so that you can begin to build things with a little more elegance than just, text down the page. But you want text over here, and then you want an image over here, and then you want 3 icons here and so forth. You're gonna be embedding containers in containers. Now, blocks, containers, and then elements. Inside of the block. So remember, the black is the block. The gray is the main container in the block. The green is a 1-column simple container. And what I've done is added an image inside of this green container. So in reality, this container, this green container right here, and you can kind of see as I move around, the red outline sort of hovers in different spots. That is showing us different elements or different parts of the build. And so this right here, this is my longtime mentor and spiritual advisor, Joseph 𝐒𝐒, and this is an image which is inside this green container, which is inside this gray container, which is inside the block. So let's go to another example. Now this, what I've done here is I've created 2 columns so I can put these images side by side. And so up here, we just have one image. Again, what we're doing here is we're just putting, straight things down the page. What we're going to do here is start putting things side by side. So when you start putting anything side by side, you're going to start using columns. And this is a 2-column layout. And inside the column, we have Dr. 𝐒𝐒's picture on the left, and we have Shelley's picture on the right. This gray block is, this gray container is inside of the 2 columns. This dark gray container is also inside of the 2 columns. So you can see them side by side down here. And then let me show you one more way of nesting. So we have the gray, which is inside the block, the green, which is inside the main container. We have a 2-column layout here, which we had above, right? This is the same thing. But what I did is inside this side of the 2 columns, I put a 3-column layout so that I could put these 3 arrows pointing over to Shelley. So I could go further. You could put a 3-column layout inside a 3-column inside you can just keep going nested and nested and nested. And keep that in mind because, again, that gives you more power to build more complicated sites. And I wanted you to know that you can nest containers in containers in containers. So then we have an image in this container, an image in this container. And if we go back up here, other elements involved. So right up here, the gray is the main container in the block. This is actually, you can see it up here on the upper right. This is an H1 tag, which means it's a header 1 text element. So I actually added this text element. This is also a text element. This is a text element. This right here is actually a layout 3x3, and I'm going to talk about these breadcrumbs down here at the bottom in just a moment. But hopefully you can see right down here at the bottom it says layout 3x3, and it has a bunch of stuff there. We're going to talk about what that means, but this is actually a 3-column layout that I put my 2 icons on either side, and then I added a text element. We have the same layout 3x3 here, and then we have the layout 3x3 images in containers. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and I want you to know that that little site that I built that has the blocks, containers, and elements, you can download that. There's a link in the description, and you can add that to your own Groove account if you want to. If you don't have a Groove account, there's also a link where you can get a Groove account in the description below. So make sure you get that free resource today before you leave. Let's groove.